Hey guys, Omaha here. Today I'm going to give you my pros and my cons for the Black Ops 6 beta, what I like and what I don't like. Main takeaway if you don't watch the entire video, a lot of people say it's like Cold War, and it does feel pretty similar to Cold War, but it's a little bit faster too because of the Omni movement. The Omni movement really is a game changer. And long story short, I really like this Call of Duty, and I did not like Cold War when that first came out. I actually hated Cold War when that first came out. I was huge into Modern Warfare 2019. Couldn't stand the HP in Cold War. Eventually, I got over it. And the past couple of months, actually, I've gone back and played Cold War more, and I've actually liked it a lot. So, yeah, my opinion's changed on Cold War. I think the best option for everybody is to just try it out yourself. The open beta is coming next weekend, and you don't need a code for that. And it's like a 20 to 30 gigabyte update for Modern Warfare 3 if you already have Modern Warfare 3 installed. And on top of that, when the game comes out, you can play it on Game Pass if you're on Xbox or PC. And I think if you haven't done Game Pass in a long time, or if you haven't done Game Pass at all, it's like $1 for like the first month. So you can try Black Ops 6 for $1 for 30 days. And you can also do the zombies, and you can beat just the campaign for $1. I mean, there's really no reason not to try it. For some perspective, I have been playing Call of Duty for 17 years, since 2007, so yeah, I'm super old. And I primarily play Search and Destroy, probably 85% of the time. Sometimes I'll jump on multi-life modes if I want to go for streaks or nukes or whatever, but usually it's Search and Destroy. So that's kind of my perspective on things. I actually made a tier list like 2 months ago on like the Call of Duty multiplayer rankings, so if you want to see how I viewed every Call of Duty, you can check that out. I'll put it somewhere in the top or in the description, wherever. But so let's go talk about the beta. The biggest thing is the Omni movement. That's a good for me. It's a steep learning curve, I will say. It took me probably 2 hours to really start figuring it out, like that I need to be using it more. I mean, you don't have to use it, but it definitely helps. But it feels super good. It feels super smooth. You can tell they spent a lot of time on it. It's extremely fun dolphin diving off of high places and doing 180s with shotguns and diving sideways and beaming people down with subs. Really, the Omni movement is amazing. I hope it stays. I really like it. People aren't doing too crazy of maneuvers with it yet. The ways I've been dying are actually pretty similar to Modern Warfare 3, where it's a lot of jumping and a lot of just sliding straight up. Sometimes you die from people sliding sideways. Well, I mean, that does happen a decent amount, but it's not like anything super crazy yet. People haven't found all the movement techs yet, so once that starts happening, it could change. For now, it's not too crazy, the movement. So overall, I really like the Omni movement. I think it's great. Second thing that is probably my second favorite feature is the hostage mechanic, the human shield. Honestly, this is one of the best things they've ever added to Call of Duty. I think it's extremely fun for content, for making clips. It's super, super funny. I haven't been taken hostage yet, but when that happens, I'm sure I'm going to troll the person taking me. It's going to be fun. But yeah, I've taken probably 10 to 12 people hostage so far, and it's been extremely funny when they actually talk back. Yeah, you can basically grab somebody and hold them hostage, and their team can try to free them, I think with headshots, or shooting you behind, or melee. But if they shoot their teammate, they can actually kill their teammate. So that's actually really cool. So I think that'll be super fun in Search and Destroy. I'm hoping that they keep the game chat in the final kill cam if it's final kill cam, because I would love to hear final kill cam, the game chat from the hostage situation. Super fun. That's what I'm hoping for that in regards to Search and Destroy. And it only lasts about 10 seconds, by the way, so it's not like it's super toxic where they can hold you hostage all game. It's really not that big of a deal. What else is good? As far as bugs go, personally, I haven't seen any bugs myself. I have seen my friend's stream. He had a bug where his gun wasn't showing up, but I think they already fixed that. And then I've crashed twice, if you want to count that as bugs. I mean, yeah, I've crashed twice so far in about 14 hours of gameplay, maybe 16 now. So I played a little bit more today. Not too many bugs. I'm sure if you go on Twitter or Reddit, you'll find people posting stuff about bugs there, but I haven't seen too many myself. Let's talk about maps now. Right now, there's 4 maps as of making this video. They just came out with Rewind today, and that's probably my favorite map out of the 4. Feels really good. There's a lot of areas where you can snipe on both left and right side. There's areas we can use the shotgun in the middle, subs, everything. Everything works on that map. It's really fun, and it's a decent sized map. It's probably the longest map, but it's not the biggest. I think Scud would be the biggest one. And if I had to compare it to like a Modern Warfare 3 map, or I guess Modern Warfare 2 map, that's what they really are. I would say it's probably about 3/4 of the size of Invasion. I can't really think of any other maps at the top of my head. That's probably about the size of it. I could be off on that, but that's just kind of off the top of my head. Scud, I also really like. People don't seem to like that on Twitter, I guess. Maybe it's the color palette, which I get, I guess, but I actually think the map's fine. The only issue I really have with it is the dish area. People like to camp up there, but it's not too big of a deal. I mean, you can snipe them pretty easily. And there's flank rounds on both sides, so... yeah, so I like that map. There's also Skyline, which is pretty much the community's favorite map. Universe, like, you ask the community as a whole, I'm sure the vast majority are going to say Skyline. It's a really good map. It's fun. It's the smallest map so far. And that one's really fun for the Omni movement because it's 2 stories. It's technically 3 stories, but the main 2 stories you can do a lot of dolphin dives off of and do crazy trick shots and all kinds of stuff with that. So that's the best map to showcase the Omni movement, in my opinion. So yeah, that's a good map. And then the final map, what is the final map? Oh, Derelict. People don't like that map too. If you're probably the 2 least liked are Derelict and Scud, but you know, it's kind of a mix-up. I like Derelict as well. It's a lot more linear than the other maps. It's a lot of just basically trains and weaving in between all the trains. The colors are really nice. It's super green and vibrant. It works pretty well for snipers and for subs, and shotguns, not as much, but you can do it if you really want to. So yeah, that's the maps. Overall, I like the maps. I think the maps we've had, so we haven't had like a solid group of original good maps in a very long time. So far, I'm pretty happy with it. Let's talk about weapons now. So the weapon balancing actually I think is pretty good so far, with a few exceptions. The main exception obviously is the Jackal. That's a pretty big problem. And I think the main problem with it is the range. So the MP5 actually kills faster, but it's mostly close range. Like if you try to extend that thing out, it's going to take a lot longer to kill. The Jackal doesn't really have that issue. It's fairly consistent even at long range. So I think that's kind of where the problem lies. I think if they nerf the range on that, it would be fine. But I'm not an expert in that. Other weapons, the SWAT 5.56, I would say it probably needs a little bit of a buff somehow. I don't really know how. I've barely used it. I've probably got it to like level 7 or 8, but it's kind of the type of weapon where if you hit the first 3 shots, you'll probably kill them, but if you miss at all, you're cooked because the fire rate, the burst delay is pretty long in my opinion. So I think that could use a little buff. It's not really that bad. It's just pretty mid. The shotgun could also use something because it's a little inconsistent. I don't have all the attachments yet, so maybe it gets better, but it's kind of inconsistent and has a really slow fire rate. And then the snipers are super fun. I think they actually balance the snipers really well this year. They have a lot of flinch, even when you have all the flinch attachments, which I think is a good thing. And they're very strong. Even the Dragunov with a fast fire rate is a one-shot kill in like the torso and up. So yeah, they're powerful, but they have a lot of downsides as well, and counters. So I think they're in a good spot. What else is there to talk about? So that's the guns. The gunplay overall is really good. There's not a lot of visual obstructions when you're shooting, like smoke and stuff like that. Everything just feels really solid. The gun sounds are great. I don't really have any complaints at all. Menus are definitely a huge improvement over the past couple years. We've had all those horizontal menus where you have to scroll for days to get to anything. They've added a lot more verticality to the menus this time around, and it definitely helps. It makes it a lot faster and easier, and it's more pleasant on the eyes, honestly, to look at, because we've basically been using Hulu menus for the past, I don't know, 3 years now, and it's miserable. I can't stand the menus. Just trying to find what you want to look for just takes forever, and even when you know where it is, it takes forever. So yeah, menus are a lot better so far. That's a huge plus. The streaks are overall good. I think they're actually strong in most cases, but they're kind of expensive, which I think is also good. I kind of like how they have it set up. So the streaks cost a lot more now. I think a UAV is like 650 score or 600, something like that in that ballpark. But your assists actually count as full score towards your streaks now. So if you get an assist, it's a plus 100. So you still get them decently fast, and there's also perks to help with that. There's Bankroll, which gives you 150 towards your streaks, like to start, and then there's also Dispatcher, I think, which reduces the score required to get support streaks by like 150, like UAVs and stuff. So it's like 300 taken off of that. It's only 300 from then on. So yeah, it's not too bad if you kind of figure it out, use those kind of perks and stuff. But in terms of strength of the kill streaks, what do we have? We have the personal UAV, which is really good. RCXD is next. That one is actually, I think it needs a buff because it's really loud. It's not super fast, and it can die in like one bullet. So I think probably they need to either speed it up, make it quieter, or give it a little bit more HP where it doesn't just instantly die in one bullet, because it's so easy to take out and predict where it's coming from. What else is there after that? The UAV actually I think is tankier than it's been in previous games. It still takes one rocket, but from bullets, it takes a decent amount. I haven't tried the anti-streak ammo yet, but I'm thinking that'll probably make it a lot faster. Counter UAV is actually 2 rockets, I think, now. I didn't actually try that myself. I just saw that on Reddit, so that could be wrong. It is Reddit. And then I tried that with bullets as well, and that took a decent amount. And then the helicopter took a mag and a half from the XMG, which is the only LMG we have right now. Which, by the way, I didn't mention that. That thing is extremely strong. I don't think it's, like, overpowered, but I think it's really slept on. Like, if you try that thing, it's really good. So, yeah, the LMG is really good. I need to talk about the other guns, too. I forgot about to talk about them, but I'll come back to that since I'm already on the streaks. Yeah, the helicopter takes a decent amount of bullets to take out. I think it's fine in terms of HP, and in terms of strength, it's pretty good. I mean, it gets kills, it pings enemies like the Overwatch helicopter in Modern Warfare 3. So it's pretty solid. And then the Hellstorm, which is like, I can't remember how much score. It's the most expensive one currently. It's strong if you're on an outdoor map. Basically, you get 3 cluster missiles that you can shoot, and then it has the main missile, which is like the Predator missile. So you can get like a whole team if they're out in the open. My main thing that I want to see improved on that kill streak, because I do think it needs an improvement, is you can't, at least from my experience, you can't shoot the cluster missiles unless you can actually visually see the target. Like if they're just inside of a doorway, you're not able to shoot the cluster missile at them. So I think if they made it so you could just shoot it without actually having to lock onto a player, it would be a lot better. And I think that would justify the score cost. So that was my suggestion for that. And then weekend 2, we're getting the chopper gunner as well. So I'm sure that'll be great. Yeah, let's go back to the weapons again, because I need to talk about some of the other ones. The XM4's solid. It's really good. XMG is really good as well. Talked about both snipers. They're really good. Can't remember. Am I missing anything else? The AK-74... No, the AK-74, I've used a little bit. It seems pretty solid. It seems like it's more of a longer range, harder hitting AR. But I need to use that a little bit more. What else is there? The C9 is extremely fun and strong and very in close range, in medium range. That's probably one of the most fun full auto weapons for me in Omni movement. And then the pistol. The pistol's a 2-shot kill. At least the first pistol. I actually haven't used the Makarov pistol yet, so I need to try that as well. But yeah, the first pistol's a 2-shot kill, so I'm hoping to get a Kimbo on that. Probably in weekend 2. And that'll be insane. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on the weapons. What else should we talk about? Aim assist got a nerf. I think that's a plus. Controllers were way too strong in Modern Warfare 3. Honestly, they're still pretty strong, but I'm not going to sit here and complain about them all day. I have friends that do. It gets kind of annoying, but yeah, they're still too strong. It is what it is at this point. I don't really care too much. I can still hang with all the controller players, so it's not that big of a deal for me. And what else? Yeah, so that is a positive that it got nerfed. I guess it's a negative that it's still too strong, but honestly, I'm not even going to list it. It's not that big of a deal. Another positive, this is the last one I can think of off the top of my head. The best play is back, and it actually works really well. I haven't seen any best plays that I didn't really look at and be like, oh, that's a best play. There could be something way better. Usually it's a pretty decent play, so usually I don't find myself complaining. Back in years past, we'd had best plays where it's like just some guy getting a quick scope and it's like 1 kill and it's just staring at a wall the rest of the time or something stupid. So it's a vast improvement over previous years. I just hope we get final kill search and destroy, because that suits that one life mode a lot better. So that's all for the positives right now that I can think of. If I think of something else, I'll mention it, but let's talk about the bad stuff. There's not a lot. Overall, I really like this Call of Duty. First thing is packet burst. Every game I play is packet burst. Almost non-stop. It's not completely non-stop, but some games it is. It's a huge problem. They really need to fix that. It's even in Modern Warfare 3, but it's worse in this for sure. So there's that. And that kind of makes the game overall feel a lot worse. There's also a desync issue. So there's a lot of times where it's going to feel like people are just bullet sponges and then you're just instantly dying to like the same weapon. That's because of desync. That definitely needs to be looked at. I don't know if that'll ever be. I'm sure that'll improve over time actually, because usually that gets better. It's usually kind of like this in the beta and in the beginning of CODs. Yeah, it's never totally going to be fixed. SBMM, I got to mention it. It's back and it's in full force. If you don't like SBMM and you're hoping the beta doesn't have SBMM, well, got bad news. It's back. So you might want to get your mop and your wet floor signed because it's going to be very sweaty. It is what it is at this point. They're never going to take it away. So I'm not going to sit here and whine about it for too long. Another complaint I have is matchmaking can be kind of slow. They seem to fix it today though. I haven't really had any issues today, but I did solo queue most of the day. Like when I was playing in a party, we'd get the whole lobby would be full except for one person and it would sit there for legit like 10 minutes. So we would just have to back out and find a new lobby. But I think they're on top of that, so that's not too big of a deal. Another thing that's I already know is going to be fixed because they've already mentioned is weapon leveling. Right now, weapon leveling is extremely slow. I don't have a single weapon maxed out yet. I used the Jackal and the XM4 all day the first day, the default class. That's a really good default class and it has stims. By the way, the stims are extremely powerful. But yeah, I didn't get either of those to max level yet. The Jackal's almost max level and the XM4 as well, but yeah, it takes a very long time. So yeah, weekend 2, they did say that they're going to adjust the XP rates and make it a lot faster. And so far, we do have double XP, and it's still slow with double XP. So yeah, hopefully weekend 2 it does get fixed. They did say they were going to work on that. And then the last thing I have for bad is the spawns. The spawns are atrocious. It's one of the worst spawns I've ever seen, straight up. They really suck. I'll spawn literally watching 2 people. I'll spawn and I can just kill people, like pulling the trigger half the time. It's really bad. I've had enemy teams spawn like on the hard point, or not literally on it, but right outside the hard point when we own the hard point. It's kind of crazy. So the spawns, I'm sure those will be fixed with time. This is Treyarch's first time, I think, on the Modern Warfare engine, so I'm wondering if maybe that's what it is. I don't know how that would affect it, but I'm sure it has something to do with it. But yeah, that's those are my overall thoughts. That's all I can think of right now off the top of my head. So overall, if I had to rate it, if it stays, if they fix most of the issues that I have right now and the positives like stay in till the full game and I like the game as much as I like the beta right now, I'd say it'd be a 9 out of 10 COD for me. Seriously, it's really good, at least for the multiplayer. Campaign's also looking pretty good. Zombies, people are pretty upset about the second map, but the first map looks amazing. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, those are my thoughts. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like. I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe if you guys want to see more Call of Duty content. Peace out.